Andrew over at Maple Leaf Customs is celebrating the second anniversary of his YouTube channel, and he's invited the community to participate in a Porsche build. It can be a casting by any maker of any model in any size. It just has to be a Porsche. The only rule is that it has to be given away when it's finished, and more on what's going to happen to the one I've built a little later in the video. Andrew is truly one of the kindest, most generous, most involved members of our community. And you're going to see in the turnout for this invitational just how much he's appreciated. Everybody I know is doing this build. Andrew really is a great guy. A while back, I saw the Porsche 911 GT3 in a Porsche Design livery, and I've wanted to give it a try ever since. I've been getting in some practice with decal creation lately, and I decided this was the build to try and do a little bit more than usual. This casting came apart pretty easily. It's a little play-worn, not bad. That rear wing was a nightmare to get out of there. It's that funky, it's not hard plastic, it's like a rubberized plastic kind of thing. And yeah, I had to use a knife to kind of cut it down a little bit, and it still fought me. I knew I was going to steal these wheels, so that is a different casting. That's Hot Wheels Aston Martin that I stole the real riders off of. But then threw that casting aside and came back to work on the Porsche, drilled it and tapped it, and as you're going to see, the body did need some work. They did put a lot of paint on it, and you saw it had that putrid paint job on it. I mean, I don't know. It just didn't work for me. Maybe some people like seeing a Porsche in that color with that paint scheme. I'm just not one of them. Like I mentioned, this did need a lot of cleanup to the casting. There were casting lines. The fit on this, like the way the glass fits, they use a single piece of glass for the back window, front window, and headlights. And I think that kind of hampers the fit a little, so that like the headlights don't fit way up in the openings, the glass doesn't fit way up tight into the opening of the windshield, but you make do with what you got. So I really do love the Porsche 911. And I don't think I've done, maybe I've done one before. But once I got the body all cleaned up and sanded down, cleaned it off with IPA, as you see here, I like to just kind of, I was thinking I'd just hold it, and then I ended up just dunking it and dropping it in there for a while and then wiping it off. But got it nice and clean, looking, I thought, great. I was really happy with how it cleaned up. At that point, it was time for decals, and I easily spent over 8 hours working on the decals for this build, using images from the internet, some original creations. I really have to thank my Patreon supporters, because without them, I wouldn't be able to use the Adobe programs that I use to create and edit and recolor images, and then I'm able to create vector graphics that allow me to get the scaling that I need on these. Like the stripes, those I created. Those weren't downloaded or anything like that, but I was able to sample the color for the gray bands on the outsides of that stripe very easily using those programs. But I have to admit, that it comes with a cost, and the Patreon members are the ones who help me be able to do that, and I truly appreciate their support. I know I have a lot to learn about decals, and I'm not going to make you suffer through watching me apply all of the decals, because there are quite a few in this. I got a little ambitious, maybe not compared to some other people, but for me it was ambitious. There's my Patreon supporters, and thanks again. I really do appreciate your help. Now here you see, once I have the stripes laid down, and those are a bunch of little chunks of stripes that I ended up in each area putting down. And I'm learning as time goes. I did a lot of other sponsor decals and stuff that you'll see in the finished build. The glass was in really good shape. It needed to be cleaned up a little bit. It wasn't too beaten up. I used flits to clean it up. And once I was finished with that, naturally, then you just wash it up a little bit in some hot soapy water. And then I decided I was going to put a sponsor decal up at the top of the windshield in the visor area. And I was really happy with how this turned out. There's a couple decals that I ended up doing, this being one of them, that I almost passed on because I kind of try and weigh it. I don't want too many sponsor decals where it looks too busy and almost messy in a way. But I wanted enough to really get the flavor of the car across. Once I did that windshield decal, I did coat it with gauzy. There's a few glitches in this build, little glitches. One of them, here I was able to dunk it using my hand as opposed to tweezers because I just held it by the headlights. I didn't gauzy coat them. One of the glitches came in doing this gauzy coat. I didn't notice it at all when I was doing this, when I had dipped it and I'm drying it off. I don't know if it was on the inside of the lid that I put to cover it. I don't know if it dropped on at the last second, but there's a little burp right under the visor on the front windshield. I don't know if it was a bubble in the gauzy. I didn't see any bubbles when I set it down there, or if a piece of lint dropped on later or what. I don't know. But it's one of the little glitches. There's a little decal glitch. I think you might find others if you look closely enough. For some crazy reason, I decided, what the heck, I'll detail some of the bottom of this. I did not go crazy on it. Kept it pretty conservative, then flipped it over and dropped the real riders in. It was nice because coming off of the Aston Martin, I didn't need to change them at all. I just hit them with a little CA glue just to keep them locked down there in place. They were about the best wheels I had on hand for this build. I did polish up that rear wing a little bit. I thought about putting a decal on that rear wing, and I thought, no, the way it's rubberized and then clear coating it, that thing, it wouldn't have worked. The clear coat would have cracked, the decal would have cracked. If it hadn't been that rubberized plastic, I think I would have been better off. But, it is what it is. I did shoot that interior with gray. I did not detail it out because I didn't want it to detract from the build in any way. I didn't want you to look at it and then see a shiny steering wheel from the side. I looked at pictures of the vehicle that I took this from, and you don't really notice the interior. And so I thought, let's just keep it that way. So it's final assembly. I use self-tapping screws. Just 'cause they were handy. They were handy and they worked. But that's it. It was a lot of fun. The decal work, I don't know if I mentioned it yet or not, but I easily spent over 8 hours doing the decals, and the time just flew by. It was a blast. I'm thrilled with the results. Others do much better decal work, but for me, this was great. I had a great time doing it, and I hope you've enjoyed this video. There's the putrid thing we started out with, and you'll see where we ended up in a second. I would like to thank Andrew at this time for hosting this second annual event celebrating his channel. Congratulations to Andrew. We truly are lucky to have him as a member of this community. Please check out all of the other builders in this event. Hashtag MLC Porsche 2 should help you find them. I did the taillight decals. I'm really happy with on this, by the way. I need to do more of that. I really like how they look. About the giveaway of this, what I'm going to do, my channel recently reached 3,000 subscribers, and about a month ago or so, I crossed 225,000 views, which I'm absolutely thrilled about. I'm going to give this away to one of you that helped me reach that milestone. I haven't quite decided what time I'm going to do it at because I have some things coming up right now, but watch the community tab on my YouTube channel and I'll tell you how to get into the random drawing for this. I hope you like how this looks. I'm pretty darn happy with it myself, and it makes me want to do more decals. It also makes me want to get more tires because I look at it and I just feel limited in some ways. I think we all wish we had other tires to throw on some of these builds. Thanks again to my Patreon supporters. I can't thank you guys enough. Everybody stay safe and healthy out there, and I'll catch you in the next one.